Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is KW Fun Guy Mark's Daily Apple with my countdown to loincloth video log for the evening of August 31st, 2010. Now, earlier today I posted up a video a little bit earlier this afternoon where I talked about, I was going to show you guys, or talk to you guys about making one of my favorite dishes, a meat dish. It's called a Scotch egg. And what a Scotch egg is, you take a medium or soft-boiled egg, you boil it up, deshell it, and then you wrap it in a mixture of ground meats and seasonings, and then it's cooked up and then served like that. And that's something I really love, occasionally here and there for breakfast. I'm finding myself wanting it even more and more now that I'm on Primal Blueprint. So with that, let me kind of show you the ingredients of what I've got going on here. Now, as hopefully you can see in the screen, I've got 1 pound of ground lamb, 1 pound of ground beef, 1 pound of ground sausage. I also have a pound of medium to thick cut bacon. Also, you'll see on here, I've got some eggs. Now, these are the farm fresh eggs that you guys heard me talk about when I was in Oregon last weekend. And these are the ones that I actually got to hand pick myself. So I definitely know where they come from and looking forward to digging into those. Also, for the seasoning, it's real simple. I've just got 4 seasonings here. This first one is about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of ground oregano. Over here, I've got 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of ground dried basil. These are all dry ingredients. And then here I've got 1 tablespoon of dried ground sage. And then last but not least, here at the end, I've got roughly not quite a full tablespoon of ground powdered onion. So with those, then you can also add salt and pepper to taste. Now, the amounts that I'm using on these are what I prefer for me. Now, when you're making this, it's something you kind of just basically got to judge by look and what you think will taste best for you. This is personally my favorite. And then I salt and pepper to taste towards the end. So what I'm going to do, and there's no need to show this on video, but I'm going to go ahead and boil up the eggs. I'm going to set them for a real mild, soft boil. Make sure that when you go to boil your eggs that you put a little pinhole in your eggs when you're boiling them. This will help get enough water, but not too much, enough water and bubbles in there to make it easier for when you go to deshell the egg after it's done. Once the eggs are done, go ahead and deshell them. I usually run them underwater, which also helps too. Then I will go ahead and mix the 3 ground meats as well as my seasonings, mix them up really good. Then I'm going to go ahead and take a handful of the meat mixture, and I'm going to encase the egg. And basically, it'll be roughly about that big, okay? Looks like a little meat egg. And once that's done, I go ahead and lightly start to brown them in a little bit of butter on the stove in a saute pan, just to get the cooking process started. While that's being done, I go ahead and start to cook up the bacon, which I do in the oven. I usually let it, set it on a rack and let the bacon fat drip down because I want to use the bacon fat later. I only want to cook the bacon about halfway through, maybe a little bit more, but not much, because you want it flat, you want it pliable, and because what's going to happen, here's the wonderful thing I do with mine. After I pull out the bacon, I grab my Scotch egg with the lightly browned meat, and then I wrap it with a layer, sometimes 2, mostly just 1 layer of the bacon I just started to cook up. And you hold it in place with some toothpicks that were soaked in water so they don't burn, and a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and then I put them in the oven at roughly about, I'd say, about 325, 350, depending where you're at. This is what I do here on the West Coast, about 325, 350, and I let it finish off. And what's cool is the bacon that's wrapped around meat, it's going to keep the meat inside from getting dried out and foul and just nasty to just this really moist, succulent num-num. And when all is said and done, you pull it out of the oven. If you want to make a ketchup type sauce, I suggest making the ketchup that you'll find in Primal Blueprint cookbook. I've done that, as well as I add a little bit of stevia to it just for a little bit of more sweetness, and it's just absolutely fantastic. You can also cook up some spinach or some kale and make a bed for your Scotch egg. One of the things I also got is some artichokes, and I'm actually thinking about cooking my artichokes and then scooping out the center and setting my Scotch egg inside of it. And if you take a look at it, it'll actually look like a Scottish thistle. So that's my Scotch egg. When I go ahead and get this stuff done and cooked up, I'll try and take some pictures for you guys and post it up, and then I'll most likely post up pictures of me eating it so you can enjoy it with me. So until that happens, I hope you guys have a fantastic evening. Again, remember, no matter what, stay primal, have a kick-ass time doing it. Remember, life isn't all that bad, and have fun with it. Rock on, everybody. I'll see you in the middle.